Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome in if you are new here. My name is Morgan. I would love to have you subscribe and join us. Today's video is a sequel to the video that I put up on Monday. I will go ahead and link that down below and up in the eye in case you missed it. But that video was my top recommendations for a cruelty-free, affordable, starter makeup kit. And today I am going to show you how to get this look right here with those products. So if you missed that first video, go ahead and check that one out before you watch this. And then let's go ahead and get right into it. So I'm gonna jump right in first with the NYX Angel Veil Primer. I only like to squeeze out about this much of that onto my hands. A little does go a long way. I kind of rub my hands together a little bit, and then I pat that in to the parts on my face where I feel I could use a little bit of a smoothing quality. I don't always use a primer at all. I don't always use this primer, but if I do, it's because I really want my base to look completely flawless. And then I mentioned two different foundations in that video, but today I'm gonna go ahead and use the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. And this is a really beautiful foundation, has a very wide shade range. I just pump out one pump on the back of my hand, and then I spread that across my face in some little dots. I am going to go get my little sponge wet. So I get it all the way wet and then I squeeze it out so that it's just barely damp. And that is what I'm gonna use to blend this all out on my face. Okay, so you'll see once that sponge is wet, it is just a little bit larger, and you can use whatever side of this feels the most natural to you. I tend to hold it like this, and then I just pat this all in with the kind of larger side of it. And it's really just truly a patting and tapping motion to get it all blended out. Now you could absolutely use a brush for this step, no trouble at all there. You would just use kind of more swirling motions than the tapping motions that I'm doing now. And I do always blend any of my foundation just down my neck slightly with the sponge so that there's not just a harsh line between the shade that my face is and the shade that my neck is. Okay, and for concealer, I have the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and I like to place this, again, where I need the most coverage. I have a lot of darkness right in this corner here, so I like to put my concealer right there. And if I need to add more later, I can, but I like to start with a smaller amount. And my two favorite ways to blend this out are either just with the same corner of this sponge, if you want a little less coverage, because the water in this sponge will help it sheer out just a little bit. Or if you're really wanting to get full coverage out of this, I recommend this Deluxe Crease Brush from Real Techniques. Comes as part of a set that, again, I discussed in my video on Monday. And for this, I kind of just use swirling motions. I like to get it way up in this corner because, again, that's where I have the most darkness on my skin. And so I like to blend this out, and I do blend it kind of down the side of my nose and up in a little bit of a triangle. Okay, and then right after doing my concealer, I go in with the finishing powder that I want to use. In this case, it's just a translucent finishing powder, and I'm using the Real Techniques powder brush. And I swirl my brush in there, and I tap it off because there's bound to be some extra. And then I just lightly sweep that underneath of my eyes. Now, I don't have very oily skin, and so I don't usually powder my entire face unless I'm going for a really matte airbrush finish. But if I were going to, again, I would just take more on my brush, swirl it in there, tap it off, and then I would just blend this very, very lightly across the rest of my face. We're gonna move on to those other powder products now. So I tend to start with my bronzer. So again, this is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer in the shade Forever Sunkissed, and I'm going in with that same Real Techniques brush and using that same technique I just used. So I'm gonna swirl and tap, and then I place this from the back of kind of the corner of my face. So right here where my ear connects to my face, and you can find my cheekbone here. And I place it kind of like right below, and then I blend upward if anything. So I don't want to blend down here because it'll make my cheekbone less pronounced. bronzer and contour are two different things. So I'm not necessarily contouring here. I'm more so bringing some color back into my face after flattening everything out with the foundation. If you want to learn to contour, you need a much more gray shade of product. This is more brown toned, and it's just not going to have quite the same effect. However, you can see that where I have added this, it does kind of make my cheekbones more pronounced. So it's not that it does nothing, it's just that this is not an official contour. It's definitely more so about bringing a little bit of color back to your face. And then again, making sure that your face and your neck match. I drag a line below my jawline and then just kind of pull down from there. So our next two steps are bronzer and blush, and the way that you apply these will depend on the look you're going for. So if you are wanting a really standout highlight, maybe it's a special occasion and you really want your cheeks to be glowing, then I recommend applying your blush first and then your highlighter. If you're looking for more of a lit from within, everyday, small bit of glow, then I recommend actually applying your highlighter below your blush, because that blush will help diffuse out that highlighter so it's a little bit less intense. So I'm gonna do that today because this is coming together as more of a casual everyday look for me. And I am going in with the Juvia's Place Tribe Highlighter in volume 3, which is the lightest of 3 shades that they have. And I'm using the Real Techniques setting brush. And I just take my brush and kind of fan it back and forth in that product a little bit. Again, I tap off the excess, and then I find the highest points of my face, which you can see because the sun will naturally reflect there. And on me, it's kind of on the very tops of my cheekbones here, around connecting to the very tail of my eyebrow here. And then it also, because of the way my face is shaped, I have to put a little extra on the apples of my cheeks because that's where the sun will naturally hit me. And then very lightly with just kind of the tip of the brush here, so I'm just putting like the very edge in there, I go down the bridge of my nose like this, and then I go across the tip of my nose. And then for a little added something, I also do my Cupid's bow here. So as you can see, I'm pretty glowy right now, and it looks a little unbalanced because I don't have any cheek color on, I just have that highlight. But now you'll see when I go in with my blush, which is the Essence Satin Touch Blush in the shade Satin Love. I'm just taking this same powder brush, the blush brush from Real Techniques that I've been using this whole time. I, again, swirl it in my product, tap off the extra, and then I just start to build this up very slowly in light layers on my cheekbones. So again, I'm not wanting to drag this down too low because it'll actually get rid of this definition that I've added. But I do want to go ahead and add it particularly on my face shape, kind of all the way to the back of my face. Everyone is different in what looks best for them for blush, so you will have to just do a little bit of trial and error to see what you like on your own face. So it just kind of helps to diffuse that highlighter a little bit. It looks a little more natural because it looks like it's coming from beneath the blush instead of on top of it. But there's definitely still a noticeable glow there. I really love these blushes. They truly perform like high-end products for, you know, like $3 at the drugstore. All right, so complexion is done and we are going to move on to eyes. So I'm going to start with brows first, and I strongly recommend this Instant Lift brow pencil from e.l.f. So you'll see first I'm just starting out by kind of shaping my eyebrows with the spoolie side to see how I want my hairs to all lay for the day. And then I'm flipping over to the side with the actual pigment, and I just do really light-handed, I barely press down, I just apply it very light-handed like that in the areas where I feel I need to fill in. This one is not really cooperating today right here. And sometimes that happens, especially with my brows. They're just unwieldy, and even if I get them shaped frequently by professionals, they get out of hand so quickly that just doesn't always work out for me. So this is my better behaved eyebrow of the two, so it definitely goes much quicker. So in my last video, I recommended just using your bronzer, blush, and highlight as your eye look, but I also discussed a couple small eyeshadow palettes from e.l.f. that I recommend. However, I just don't think that these are necessary, and I want to show you today that with just the products I've already shown, you truly can get an amazing eyeshadow look. So I am going to just go in today with one brush and those 3 face products that we've already used. So I am going in with my Firm Blending Eyeshadow ES2 brush from Profusion Cosmetics. So this is the bronzer I was using earlier. I put it on the small point and then I tap off the extra. And then that allows me to add that color into the crease of my eye here. So I'm just kind of blending all around in this area of my crease. And I blend up and out onto my brow bone just a little bit. That's a thing about my eye shape. It just makes my eyes look much larger. But if you already have nice open eyes, I would keep this color really truly in your crease. So I typically have to go in with 2 coats. Small light layers are your friend here. So you definitely don't want to add too much product all at once and then be overwhelmed and not have anywhere to spread that out and kind of run out of real estate. So I always recommend just start with less than you think you need. You can always just dip back in and grab a little bit more product. So at this stage, you have a couple different options. Option 1 is to continue on with this bronzer, leave it as is, or sweep the bronzer all the way across your lids, just to, again, add a little bit of definition back in a nice light layer there. However, another option to kind of add some more intrigue into your look is to go in with the blush that you're using. So I am going to go in with the blush. I'm going to lay the flat side of the brush on this product. Again, just kind of dragging this time instead of swirling, dragging a little bit, tapping off any extra, and then using the flat side of that brush to apply it across my lid. So it just brings a little added dimension. It adds a difference between your crease here and your actual lid space. And I think that's a really good trick to tie in your whole face look. It will look super cohesive if you have the same colors on your cheeks and your eyes. Okay, and then if you're happy with this, I would leave it like that. I think it's beautiful. It really ties everything all together. But if you're wanting something a little more special and exciting, I would take your highlighter and just dip in one of your fingers, get a little bit of product on there so you can see I've got it here. And I tap that on the inner corner of my lid to add a little sparkle and shine. And then once that's applied, if you want to tone it down at all, which I'm feeling like I do want to just a little bit today, you can take that same brush you were using before. Don't add any product on it, but use it to kind of smooth out that shiny shadow and really just kind of diffuse it into the other shades you've got going on. Okay, and the last step here for eyes is mascara. I'm using the Essence Volume Stylist 18-Hour Lash Extension Mascara, and I am going to go ahead and do this off camera, but I will link down below and in the eye up here a link to a tutorial I have about applying mascara on yourself, so I will be right back with mascara done. Okay, and last but not least, our lips. So I am using the ColourPop Just a Tint in the shade Gimme Some More, and I love this shade because I really don't feel like I need any sort of lip liner or gloss. And so it's really a one and done product for me. Particularly on my lips, this is just such a nice warm nude. And so I think it goes with almost any combination of makeup that you could have on the rest of your face. So I think it's a really great like first lip product purchase. I did also recommend a lipstick on there, and that is from Real Her Cosmetics, and I think it's a great starter lipstick, but I would pick this up before that, if anything. It's much more affordable. All right, so there you have it. This is the completed look with just those few products in my minimalist, cruelty-free, affordable starter makeup kit. If you enjoyed this video today, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. Please comment down below and like this video. All 3 of those actions really help me as a small creator here on YouTube. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time.